Hello everyone, my name's Jim and welcome back to my movie obsession, and welcome to a review of what I believe is the best film of the year by far, and one of the best films of the last 5 years. I'm absolutely blown away by James Gray's Ad Astra. Yeah, so coming out of this film, I kind of staggered out of the theatre. I'm absolutely blown away by the film, I really am. You know, it's a film that hasn't really been promoted that much. I mean, it's Brad Pitt in a sci-fi epic, but I don't think the trailers really showed what this film entails. It does have 83% on Rotten Tomatoes. That's not high enough by any stretch of the imagination. This film, for me, I'll give it 5 stars by far. Absolutely by far. It's one of my favourite films for a long time. I'm stunned by the film. Basically, it's about Brad Pitt, who is this jaded astronaut who his father, years ago, Tommy Lee Jones, went off on this space mission and was never heard from again. And now they kind of think that he might have been alive somehow. So Brad Pitt is going out to look for him. That's basically the story of the film. And it doesn't set you up for what actually happens. This is I mean, I've heard people call this the people who want to dismiss it. I have seen a couple of reviews just calling it daddy issues in space. It is by far more than that. This is an exploration into just the essence of being human, the essence of family, the essence of the way that family can affect you for the rest of your life, the way that your career shouldn't define you, and when it does define you, it can mess with your head and you can become jaded in even any career field. You know, and what I like about this film is you can look at like astronauts in the world and all these these amazing jobs and professions, but they're still all dealing with the same inner turmoil we all deal with, because your happiness isn't found in a job, your worth isn't found in a job. And you know, lots of people who get into these amazing high profile jobs end up being jaded because they don't really understand why they're there for. Eventually they think that this is what they should be doing, or this is what can make them happy, or this is what their parents did, so this is what they're going to do, and they lose their identity because they're kind of like, well, I didn't really choose this, you know, it's this amazing job which I do love, but it doesn't make sense to me why I'm doing it. I'm doing it to fulfill something. I'm not doing it because I actually want to be doing it anymore. It's a film about falling out of love with your passion. It's a film about being lost, and it is very much a film about, I guess you could call it daddy issues, but Brad Pitt's kind of longing for that relationship he never had with his father is incredible. You know, there's a monologue running throughout with Brad Pitt with his little voiceovers, and what I love about the film is it's so human, it's so intimate. You know, you can see a lot of sci-fi epics that will try and be really smart, and I guess you could say pretentious. But Brad Pitt's voiceovers in this, they're just little human lines that all, that goes on in everyone's head. Everyone who's dealing with issues themselves, and it's so relatable. He's in this kind of amazing job which I can't even fathom doing, but he still has those human emotions, and he still has those human struggles, and when he conveys what he's going through, it's so human, it's so relatable, it's so believable. And I love that. It was a film that helped me put myself in the shoes of an astronaut, and it was a film about showing that all human beings are essentially the same, who all have the same struggle, who all have the same demons. And it's a film about confronting demons. It is a film about not letting your demons define you, and it's a film about how do you confront your demons, how do you overcome them, how do you come to terms with them, how do you not let them define you. And Brad Pitt's performance in this is just first rate. I mean, Brad Pitt, one of the greatest movies. I think the greatest movie star of recent times is Leonardo DiCaprio, but Brad Pitt, I tell you, he might. I always call Leonardo DiCaprio and Brad Pitt the Robert De Niro and Al Pacino of this generation, but Brad Pitt is closing in. I mean, this performance is so human, so reserved, so quiet. And it's just all about the facial expressions, the gestures, the sense of loss in the man's eyes. And you can just see that this man, is a good person, but he's completely and utterly jaded and lost and confused. The way he delivers anything in this film, pretty much, there's a couple of moments of facial expressions where he really just pulls at your heartstrings, and you just feel for the guy. And that's what all great actors should be able to do, just by being on screen. That movie star aura, that sense of relatability, that sense of drawing you in through gestures, through simple things. Brad Pitt's an absolute master in this film, and even when he's he's kind of like childlike in the film. He's like a child who never grew up, because he never had that relationship with his father. So you have a lot of compassion for this main character, and I feel like this film moves at such a gradual, slow pace. It's a slow film. It's a quiet film, but James Gray builds things up so well, and he creates such an intriguing, fascinating story. I've never actually seen a film like this, with a story like this. Of course, it's about going into space and all that. There's so much more to it than that. It's a film about, I guess, your worst fears come to life. It's a film about the people closest to you not being how you expect them to be, and how would you react? How do you deal with them not being how you want them to be? It's a film about not being able to control those closest to you. It's a film about being out of control in your life, and trying to control someone in your life who's doesn't want to be controlled, and who doesn't want to be the person you want them to be, and the pain that can create. And Tommy Lee Jones, of course, plays Brad Pitt's father in this, in just an absolutely sensational performance. Tommy Lee Jones, one of the greatest actors of our times, so reserved, such a performance based on expressions. You just see all the experiences this guy has been through by taking one look at his face. You see this broken man, you see this confused man, you see this deranged man, slightly damaged man, who is just obsessed with achieving his ends. And I don't want to spoil it too much. Because the kind of second half of this film is just exquisite filmmaking. Brad Pitt and Tommy Lee Jones, exquisite acting. Some of the best on-screen acting I've seen in years. And I don't want to spoil it. I really don't want to spoil it. You need to watch this movie, guys. James Gray's direction is sensational. He really creates a mood here, an atmosphere. It's a dizzying atmosphere, it really is. And I think this film has one of the best opening scenes in all of space movies. Absolutely blew me away. A friend of mine who I watched the movie with said after the film, can movies look any better than this? And I don't think they can. Cinematographer Hoyt van Hoytema, unbelievable cinematography. Absolutely unbelievable. I mean, all the great space movies shoot space and crafts and the idea of space travel and being in the astronaut helmet as this unbelievable experience that you can't comprehend, and that's what I felt. And you're so absorbed, you really feel like you've been there with the characters. This film really does, it caught me in its gaze, it really took me on this journey. It wraps you up, this film. It really does. It's slowly but surely, you're on this journey with the character. And it really is a character study of this father-son relationship. And, not to get too in depth, but I never met my father. I had a stepfather who ended up not being very good for our family. So, I related to it. And all I will say is that the film inspired me by not letting those things define you. Never going over its station, keeping things grounded, keeping things human. I love how it's a movie set in the great depths of space, but yet at its core it's so human. So it mixes the unknowable, the vast realm, with humanity being all we've got, and I absolutely adore that about the film. It really hit me on an emotional level. Again, caught me in its gaze. It's an unbelievable film in my opinion. This film needs more attention, guys. People are not raving about Ad Astra. It has got good reviews, but it needs better than 83% on Rotten Tomatoes. Come on. Everyone go and see this. Everyone herald and claim Brad Pitt to be the greatest of his day, because he deserves it. One of the greatest living movie stars, one of the greatest actors of all time. I've got to put him in that bracket after this, because this is one of my favourite space movies of all time, one of my favourite sci-fi movies of all time, and it is a sci-fi movie. Just before I end the video, it's such a human film, but it's also a sci-fi movie because sci-fi is all about what if. So there's a big kind of what if statement, idea, premise in this film. What if this guy did this? That's the what if of the film. So it is a sci-fi movie, but it's such a human one, and such a grounded one, but yet still full of this epic scale of looking at this vast, crazy thing that is the universe and different planets and space. Oh, I was blown away, absolutely blown away by Ad Astra. What do you guys think of Ad Astra? Please go out and watch it and let me know in the comments down below. I'd love to discuss this movie with you guys. I think it's one of the best films in many, many years. I absolutely loved it. So thanks for watching, everyone. Please subscribe to this channel, all that good stuff. Like the video and check out some other videos on my channel. And I will be back soon, of course. So I'll see you guys next time.